Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Do I sound okay? Do I sound okay? Should sound should sound fairly all right, I think. Hello? Whoa, too loud. Should sound should sound fairly all right. Oh gosh. LJL, what is going on, my guy? How are you going? How are you doing? I'm gonna try to change something very quickly. Hopefully I don't mess anything up. Okay, I'm gonna add another another screen capture, which is display capture. Display capture. Okay. Okay, there we go. So I'm wondering. Yeah, okay. So with this one I can crop it. So it's just the chat. I think, right? Hey, there we go. And then make it a little smaller. Is that okay? Does that look okay? LJL and Yorsa, what's going on, my guys? How you feeling tonight? The shades seem ridiculous, but the lights that I have, the amount of lights I have to have on to make this look bright, is blinding me. And if I'm gonna be live for 2 hours, I'm rocking the shades. All right. So Friday Night Deck Reviews, the first ones of 2026. We've been on a two-week hiatus, so hopefully you guys remember how these go. We're gonna take a look at 2 decks that the community has submitted. If any of you guys watching want to submit your own decks, you can become a Patreon member or YouTube member for as low as $1 and gain access to the deck submission form. The 2 decks we're going to take a look at are Yorsum's The Balrog Durin's Bane deck and Wheelmaster's Hearthhull The World Seed deck, which, yeah, both look very, very fun. So, we're going to get into that. We've got Yorsum in the chat right now, so that's always good. And, yeah, let's do it. The first deck is Yorsum's The Balrog Durin's Bane deck. The strategy and theme is trying to be as mean as possible. Yeah. Optimize casual. Win conditions. Opponents can't play the game. Ooh. Damn. Favorite interaction. He who shall not be named. Is that a card or is he just... I don't know. Plus almost every card in the deck. Love that. What do you hope to get from this review? To show off my deck, to get some card recommendations, to raise the power level of my deck. And Yorsum is a Patreon member. Big shout out, Yorsum. And let's hop into here. Under here he says, whoa. Aggressive Balrog list, looking to make the most of his first ability. And the Balrog's first ability is... are you talking about this spell costs 1 less to cast for each permanent sacrifice this way? As his first ability? I would assume that's what you're talking about. He is a 5, a black, and a red 7/5. Costs 1 less for each permanent sacrifice this turn. Haste. And the Balrog Durin's Bane can't be blocked except by legendary creatures. And when the Balrog dies, destroy target artifact or creature an opponent controls. Yeah, it's a cool card, especially when you can make it cost 2 mana. So as he was saying, we're trying to utilize his first ability to make as many sacrifice permanent effects happen so we can make this as cheap as possible. And yeah, just keep bashing pace with Balrog. If you want to give us a little basic rundown to get a little bit deeper than that in chat, Yorsum, feel free. But I'll piece together the deck's vibe together as we go. Okay, disable tags. Okay. So for creatures, we've got Abyssal Gatekeeper, a 1 in a black 1/1 that when it dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature they control. So once this dies, hopefully you'll probably play an effect that lets you sacrifice it, like Demon's Disciple, which is a 2 in a black 3/1. Each player sacrifices something when it enters. You can sack your own Abyssal Gatekeeper, and then everyone has to sack another thing, and then your Balrog all of a sudden costs 3 sacrifices again, plus your 1 sacrifice. 7 less, your Balrog cost, 2 mana. Pretty good. The Red Cabbage. Hello, hello. What's going on, the Red Cabbage? Hey, Abby Howen. 7560 became a member of the Lotus Seeds. You know what we do around here when someone becomes a member of the Lotus Seeds? Can you imagine? Like, confetti cannons go off, line dancers. And then we just act like nothing happened. That'd be sick. There's a future. There's a future where that's possible. Okay. Balor, 3 and 2 red. Honestly, these glasses are messing with me. I'll deal with the lights. 3 and 2 red, 5/5 flying. Whenever Balor attacks or dies, which is great because we're probably going to be able to sacrifice it, choose 1 or more. Each mode must target a different player. Target opponent draws 3 cards, then discards 3 at random. Target opponent sacrifices a non-token artifact, or Balor deals damage to target opponent equal to the number of cards in their hand. All 3 of those. Damn, was really hoping for line dancers. So was I, dude. You're telling me. Would have been sick. It's a cool card. Yeah, I mean, it's just like a big bomb. You can bash people in the face for 5 because it's a 5/5 flyer. If at any point... Actually, every time it attacks, you get to do that. This is a bomb card. And if you have to sack it to one of your sack effects, sure. Demon's Disciple, we already talked about it. ETBs and everybody sacks. Actually, we'll talk about all those. Fleshbag Marauder, ETBs, everyone sacks. And Plague Crafter, ETB, everyone sacks. Endrick Sar, whenever you play a creature spell, put X/1/1 black Thrall tokens into play, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. When you control 7 or more Thralls, sacrifice Endrick Sar. So not only do we have Thralls that we can sack to some of our stuff now, we could also potentially have to sack Edric, which could go towards reducing the Balrog's effect, our cost, and I'm sure interacting with some other pieces in the deck as well. Sorry to ask, I know you just explained, but how do I submit a list? If you go to the... hold on a second. On the YouTube one... it's a little different now that I'm thinking about it. Let me check for you here. Okay. So, if I'm not mistaken, if you go to my channel, and then you go to post... It might say community. I'm pretty sure it says post. You may be able to organize by members, or there might be a members tab. Let me just post a members only thing really quick to the forum. It will take a minute anyway. Share. Copy responder link. Next Lotus. Should do it. Okay. So yeah, now if you go to my YouTube page and click on post, it should be the top thing on post now. It's a members only. Oh crap, hopefully it's a members only. It's probably not. I'm gonna save that and then delete it really quick because maybe I goofed right there. Yeah, I did. Well, someone got in there for free, dude. Big gains. Okay. Yeah, it's there now. The members only thing. Let me see what else we got here. If Lagamos Hand of Hatred isn't in here, it needs to be. Lagalos is. I see now. Thanks. Good. He's the next card. Lagamos, Hand of Hatred, is 1 a black and a red for a 1/3 at the beginning of your combat. Create a 2/1 red elemental creature token with haste and trample. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, and then you can tap it, search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle, activate only if 5 or more creatures died this turn. That's perfect for this deck. Mayhem Devil turns anyone sacking permanents into damage. Priest of the Forgotten Gods lets you sack 2 creatures to deal 2, add 2 mana, and draw a card. Rankle and Torbran is 1, 2 black, 2 red, 3/4 flying, first strike, haste. When it deals combat damage to a player or battle, choose any number. Choose any number. Okay, of the following. Each player creates a treasure token. Each player sacrifices a creature. If a source would deal damage to a player or battle this turn, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. Yeah, that sacrifice a creature one's great. That last one's just a little weird because you like don't get the damage buff on Rankle, but I like the sacrifice one. That one's nice. Reckless Barbarian. 1 red, it's just a bear that you can sack for 2 mana. That seems pretty good in this deck, actually. Sengomancer, 2 and 2 black, 3/3 flying. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain 3. Whenever an opponent discards a card, you gain 3. Tier Grid, of course, is in this list. Jeez Louise. 3 and 2 black, 4/5 menace. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from the graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Sure, it's got a backside, but I don't think we care. Target opponent loses 3 unless they sacrifice a non-permanent or discard a card. That could actually be useful, but Tier Grid, definitely the option. Woe Strider gives you a goat, lets you sack stuff to scry. Gonna be good. You can actually sack stuff to... No, never mind. I thought Escape you had to sack stuff, but you don't. Helm of Possession, awesome politics card. Use it to instant speed, grab someone's creature to block with, sack it for Balrog, or open the way for Balrog. Helm of Possession. Helm of P. 4-drop artifact. You may choose not to untap this artifact during your untap step. Pay 2, tap it, sacrifice a creature, gain control of target creature for as long as you control this artifact, and this artifact remains tapped. Oh, yeah. Helm of Possession seems great. Little sack outlet that just lets you grab opponent stuff to sack, dude. That's a good suggestion right there. Okay. Moving on to sorceries. All is dust. Each player sacrifices all colored permanents. That's going to be great because you're definitely going to get a 2-drop Balrog. Barter and Blood. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. Speaking of a 2-drop Balrog. Crack the Earth. Each player sacrifices a permanent for 1 red. That's incredible in here. Dance Macabre. Macabre. I always say that. Macabre. Dance Macabre. What does dance mean? Or whatever that first word is. 3 and 2 black sorcery. Each player sacrifices a non-token creature. Roll a d20 and add the toughness of the creature sacrificed this way. Return a creature card put into the graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. And if it's a 1 through 14, if it's a 15 plus, return up to 2 target creatures. Ooh. Oh, that's really good. I might need to pick one of those up. I actually like that. Devastating Dreams. Devastating Dreams was one of my suggestions that I had. So, never mind. It's already in here. Devastating Dreams. 2 red for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Devastating Dreams, discard X cards at random. And then each player sacrifices X lands. Devastating Dreams deals X damage to each creature. Gross card. I love Crack the Earth. Yeah, Crack the Earth's really good, especially in this list. That's actually busted. Dread Return, reanimation with a flashback to sack 3 creatures. If you sack 3 creatures. Epicenter, 4 and a red sorcery. Target player sacrifices a land. All players sacrifice all lands instead if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard. Yikes. That's really gross. You just like float 2 mana, have everybody sack all their lands, play your commander. Again, like you said, no one can play the game, so yeah. Feed the Swarm. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. You lose life equal to the CMC. Innocent Blood. 1 black. Each player sacrifices a creature. Pirate's Pillage. 3 and a red for sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards and create 2 treasure tokens. Rob the Archives. 1 and a red. Casualty 1. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards until the end of the turn. Casualty seems really good. Yeah, I like Casualty in here. Smallpox was one of my suggestions as well, so nice. 2 black for a sorcery. Each player loses 1, discards a card, sacrifices a creature, sacks a land. Smallpox is incredible in this list. Tempt with Vengeance. X and a red sorcery. Put X 1/1 elements into play with haste that you have to sack at the end of turn. Each opponent may put X11 elements into play that they have to sack at the end of turn. Wait, do you have to sack them? I feel like I'm just adding that here. X and a red. Put X11 red elemental creature tokens with haste onto the battlefield. Each opponent may do the same, and then you do it again for each opponent that does. You don't have to sack them. That's crazy. I feel like every element with haste I've ever read in my life you've had to sack. And these ones are just like, nah, we're chilling. Bro, you're talking to an OG Legacy Pox player. I will never forget Smallpox. That's fair. Thoughts of Ruin. 2 and 2 red for a sorcery. Each player sacrifices a land for each card in your hand. Thoughts of Ruin is exactly what you were thinking before you made this deck, dude. You're like, what if I fucked everyone's boards up? And then Balrog. Toxic Deluge. 2 and a black. Good board wipe. Sack. Give him neg X, neg X. Trample. 1 and a red for a sorcery. Each player sacrifices a land. I haven't seen like half of these because I've never looked at like land destruction cards. That's pretty freaking good. Tyrant's Choice. 1 and a black for a sorcery. Starting with you, each player votes for death or torture. If death gets more votes, each player sacrifices a creature. If torture gets more votes, each opponent loses 4 life. Oh no, each opponent. Sorry, I said each player on the first one. It's each opponent both times. That's really good though. It's $11 for a foil. Do you guys think card shops feel bad when you try to trade in cards like that? Like, do you think that like they're like, it is $11, but also like it's just because it's foil. The other one's like 10 cents. I always feel weird when I trade in a card that's like that. That's such a big gap. I always feel like I'm like, sorry. Soft served memes. I'm back. Vandalblast, good removal, and Visions of Ruin, good removal. Moving on to instance, we've got Altar's Reap, which is a good sacrifice piece because you can't do it repeatedly, but draws you 2 cards. Big score, good card draw, make some treasures. LOL, someone will buy it. That's fair. It won't be I. Burnt Offering. 1 black for an interrupt. Sacrifice a creature, add an amount of black equal to that creature's. Black or red. That's actually perfect for this deck. What is it equal to, though? The casting cost. There we go. Corrupted Conviction, another sack a creature, draw 2. Costly Plunder, sack a creature, draw 2. Deadly Dispute, sack a creature, draw 2, and make a treasure. Nasty End, sack a creature, draw 2. If it was legendary, draw 3. Plumb the Forbidden, sack any number of creatures. For the amount you did, draw a card, lose 1. Sacrifice, which is 1 black, instant as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature, add an amount of black equal to the mana value. Cool. How much is like a legal one of those? So I'm sure anybody would probably be fine with you playing that version. I mean, you can get a revised version for $3. That's really cool. Good card. Shielders Edict. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature, or each opponent sacrifices a creature token, or each opponent sacrifices a planeswalker. That one's so good. Nick, your cam blocks a lot of the cards on screen, by the way. Oh, yeah. That's okay, though. I'll be hovering them anyway. I'll be hovering the ones I'm talking about. Or trying to, at least. Soul Shatter. Everyone sacks the biggest thing they control. Very good. Terminate. Good removal. Unexpected Windfall. Good card draw that makes tokens. Village Rites. Sack. Draw 2. And Arcane Signet, good mana ramp. Command Sphere, good mana ramp. Heart of Ramos, good Artemis, or good mana ramp that you can sack too. That's actually really, really good. Oh, you can sack Command Sphere too. Both very good. Mind Stone, you can also sack it. Very good. Phyrexian Altar, of course, that's going to be good. Sack a creature, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Skull of Ramos, same deal except black. Talisman of Indulgence and Tempting Contract. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent may create a treasure token. For each opponent who does, you create a treasure token. How often have you played with this card? How often do people do this? I mean, it's a $17 card, so I would assume statistics are saying, like, yeah, people do it all the time. Plague Vermin, any good? Plague Vermin. Plague Vermin. $6 and a black for a sorcery. Starting with you, each player may pay any amount of life. Repeat this process until no one pays life. Each player puts a 1/1 black rat creature token into play for each 1 life they paid. I mean, that's a sweet ass card. I just don't know how good it would be in here. Maybe with all the stack stuff. I'm just not sure. I use it in Lord of Pain. People use it for that. Lord of Pain's so good. I love that card. I haven't played it myself, but I've played with players that cast it. It can be real good, but your average EDH player will almost always take the tokens. Okay, that seems really good then. Bitter Blossom, one of my favorite cards of all time. Get the 1/1 fairies on your upkeep and pay a life. Love it. Black Market Connection. Draw cards, create treasures, or make a 3/2 for as much life as you're willing to pay. Dictate whenever anything you control dies, each opponent sacks a creature. Same for Grave Pact. Keldon Twilight. 1 black and a red enchantment. At the beginning of each player's turn, if no creatures attack that turn, that player sacrifices a creature he or she controls since the beginning of that turn. Ooh. That's really good. Revel in Riches turns creatures dying and opponent controls into treasures for us, and if we control 10 or more treasures on our upkeep, we win. And sure. And then lands, we've got, I'm sure, some lands that sacrifice. Bloodstained Mire to sack it. Demolition Field sacks itself. Evolving Wild sacks itself. Ghost Quarters sacks itself. High Market can sack creatures. Marsh Flat sacks itself. What else we got here? Phyrexian Tower can sack creatures. Polluted Delta sacks itself. Prismatic Vista sacks itself. Scalding Tarn, Strip Mine, Tectonic Edge, Terramorphic Expanse, and Treasure Vault. So, yeah, a lot of ways to sack on our lands as well, which, yeah, that's going to be incredible with our commander. I haven't played him. Oh, sorry. Red Cabbage, not necessarily. Who's the commander? The Balrog. What's the guy's name? Durin's Bane. Who's Durin? Is there a card named Durin that came out? Or is that like a place? Doors of Durin. Okay, so it's a place. Pretty cool. Okay. Have a good holiday and New Year. I did. How about you guys? Did you guys all do good? Oh, so Durin is a character. I'm confused. Because it says Doors of Durin. Oh, so like did he make the doors? Because he's like a dwarf? Did he like forge them? I don't know if he had a card printed, but he is a named character. That's cool. Fat People 1 2 3 4. Yorsome. Soft Served Memes. The Red Cabbage. Just making sure I got everybody here. Gabe Wallace. Cully 289. I be hoeing with the becoming a Lotus Seed. Big thanks. Yorsome LJL. Appreciate you guys. Okay. So yeah, we're looking for cards for this Balrog list. We're focusing heavily on the first ability to reduce the Balrog's cost by players sacrificing things, and utilizing the fact that we're going to have a recurring 2-drop commander to make it really easy for us to also sack stuff as a part of our cards, like Innocent Blood. Each player sacks a card. Barter and Blood. Maybe Flashback our... where is it? Our Dread Return. Tons of options to do with our creatures. Bring home games by letting your players not have a board state ever, and you consistently having a 7/5 on the board. It's going to be pretty freaking good. Off the top of my head, I was thinking Warstorm Surge would be pretty good in this list. Let me... Okay. Hold on. I actually have one queued up here that I forgot about, so let me think. Let's start with that one. This one. There we go. Manacism. I thought would be really good in this list. One second. Doors of Durin. He's a founder of the Dwarf Settlement. Wrinkle needs to be in here, huh? What cards do we have for recursion of the cards we sack? I think a lot of the time the cards we're sacking is going to be our commander. Because it's just going to cost 2, like most of the time. But it will get up there and cost pretty quick, so that is a good point. Clackbridge Troll. Okay, hold on. We'll go to Clackbridge Troll right after this one. Manacism, 1 and a red sorcery. Sacrifice any number of lands. Add 1 colorless to your mana pool for each land sacrificed this way. I feel like this could be very useful to get a huge amount of sack in 1 turn. Get you out of pinch. And then a card like Warstorm Surge I think would be good. Whenever a creature ETBs, it does damage equal to its power to any target. Because you could be playing the Balrog like 4, 5, 6 times during a game and just let's see, like 30 plus damage with it. Seems pretty good. Wooden Dread, what's going on? Says Clackbridge Troll. Which card before Warstorm Surge? Mana Seism. You can sack any number of lands and add that much colorless to your mana pool. Clackbridge Troll, 3 and 2 black, 8/8, trample haste. Whenever Clackbridge Troll enters the battlefield, target opponent creates 3/0/1 goats. At the beginning of combat on your turn, any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If that player does, Clackbridge Troll becomes tapped. You gain 3 life and draw a card. That wouldn't be bad. That's definitely another big, huge threat to have in play. I'll try Warstorm, but I hate it because it's 6 mana. That's fair. I feel like there's a card that's similar to it that's not 6 mana. Deal equal power type enchantment. I swore there's another one. Ooh, Pandemonium's pretty sick, actually. Oh, Rakdos joins up, dude. Woo! Do you have this in there? Hold on a second. I'm not gonna. Oh, no, you don't. We just went through the deck, dude. We just don't. Rakdos joins up is nuts in this deck. 3 a black and a red. When Rakdos joins up, enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with 2 additional 1/1 counters on it. So there's some recursion. This could, like, just, even if you just come back with, like, a Fleshback Marauder, that's not terrible. Whenever a legendary creature you control dies, Rakdos joins up, deals damage equal to that creature's power to target opponent. So when you're sacrificing Balrog over and over again, you can just be bashing 7, and it's also a piece of recursion. I think that's way better than Warstorm. Definitely put in that instead of Warstorm, or put in Pandemonium instead of Warstorm. It's just a Warstorm for everybody. Whenever anyone's creatures enter, they get to be dealing damage, but the way you're locking people down and sacrificing lands and taking out lands, I don't think this will be as bad as it is for a lot of people. Meat Hook Massacre 2, maybe? Meat Hook Massacre 2. If you couldn't handle Meat Hook Massacre 1, I pray to God you don't show up to 2. 2 black, 4 or 2x, 4 black, legendary enchantment. When it enters, each player sacrifices X creatures. Whenever a creature you control dies, you may pay 3 life. If you do, return that card into play under your control with a finality counter. It's not bad. You get 2 flesh bags. That's pretty good. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you may pay 3. If you do, return that creature under your control with a finality counter on it. That's pretty freaking good. Just even without the X, just for 4 black in this deck, that's actually incredibly good. Plague Reaver could be funny. Make people discard 2 or sack all their other creatures. Two and a black, 6/5. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice each other creature you control. Discard 2 cards, sacrifice Plague Reaver, choose target opponent, return Plague Reaver to the battlefield under that player's control. Ooh. That actually is hilarious in your deck. That's pretty good, actually. Impact Tremors, maybe. I don't think there's like a... Maybe, because you do have a few cards in here that are making a lot of bodies. Like you have, what was that thing called? Tempt with Vengeance in here. I don't know if you have like many more than that, though, now that I'm thinking about it. But you will have your commander coming out. So possibly, I think going bigger with that is a better idea, because you're only going to be pinging for 1 each time Balrog comes in. But with Warstorm, you'll be pinging for 7. I just don't know if you're going wide enough. Maybe, though. PMAC Dance Dude. What's up, Nick? Joining you from my Commander FNM. Hey, what's going on, everybody at the Commander FNM? Gulp. That's a fun card, but why wouldn't they just choose you every time? With Plague Reaver, I mean. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice each other. What do you mean? They would also have to discard 2 cards, though, in order to do it. That opponent would also have to sack 2 cards, sack Plague Reaver, and then give it back to you. So it's like whoever's willing to discard the most cards ends up with Plague Reaver, I think is the name of the game here. It's kind of cool. Rise of Dreadmarn? What the hell did you just say to me? Whoa, I didn't expect that many cards to come up from Rise of Dread. Rise of Dreadmarn. 2 and a black instant, create X 2/2 black zombie. Berserker creature tokens, where X the number of non-token creatures that died this turn. It's not bad. I could see that being pretty good in here, actually. I like that. Okay, I've got some other spicers for you. Are you ready for these? Let me see here. Funnily enough, I've got a card that's good in both decks, but okay. So Reprocess is one that I think is pretty cool. 2 and 2 black sorcery. Sacrifice any number of artifacts, creatures, or lands. Draw a card for each permanent sacked this way. Big way to get a bunch of white. I said white because I was looking at PMAC Dance, dude. Rise of Dreadmarn. Is Obsession Pursuit not fire in this deck? Obsessive Pursuit. We'll check that out after Repossess. Yeah, sacrifice any number of artifacts, creatures, or lands, and then draw that many cards. That just seems like a really good card draw piece in this deck, while also making Balrog really, really cheap. I love Rise of Dreadmarn with Mystic Reflections and blue-black zombies. Yeah, that seems great. Obsessive Pursuit. Obsessive Pursuit. Where's that at? Hey, there we go. 1 in the black enchantment. When this enchantment enters at the beginning of your upkeep, or at the beginning of, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 and create a clue token. Whenever you attack, put X/1/1 counters on target creature, where X is the number of permanents you've sacrificed this turn. If X is 3 or greater, that creature gains lifelink. This seems really good. You can just make Balrog huge and give it lifelink. And it's a little card draw engine. That's a really cool card. I'm going to save that. I actually like that card a lot. Braids is an obvious choice. Wait, never mind. Would Lucius the Eternal be good fit? Lucius the Eternal. 3 a black and a red, 5/3 haste. When Lucius the Eternal dies, exile it and choose target creature an opponent controls. When that creature leaves the battlefield, return Lucius the Eternal from exile into its from exile to the battlefield under its owner's control. There we go. Yeah, Lucius would be good, right? I would think so. I'll watch this back later. Wish me luck in the FNM tonight, boys. Hey, good luck, my guy. Hope you do good. Okay, so I've got a couple more suggestions here. I've got Devastating Dreams, but you already have that in the deck. Stormkiln Artist seems great in this list, and let me tell you why. Because you run 19 sorceries and 14 instants, so you run 33 instants and sorceries in this deck, so 33% of your deck is going to trigger Stormkiln Artist, and that trigger is going to give you treasures, and guess what? Treasures sacrifice themselves, and that will make Balrog not only cost 1 less from the sacrifice, but also the treasure will float a mana. So they're putting in double duty in this deck. I think that is perfect for this. And then finally, my last suggestion here is Descent into Avernus. Seems incredible in this list. 2 in a red, enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, put 2 descent counters on Descent into Avernus. Then each player creates X treasure tokens, and Descent into Avernus deals X damage to each player, where X is the number of counters on it. Yeah, everyone's going to make 2 treasures, take 2. Make 4 treasures, take 4. Make 6 treasures, take 6. Make 8 treasures. Yeah, the game's going to go a lot quicker, and you're going to have a lot more stuff sacking, and you're going to be able to bring home the game very, very, very quick with that. Yeah, so those are my real good ones. I think those would be fantastic in this list. Would Kroxa be good in here? I think Kroxa actually wouldn't be bad. Black and a red 6/6. When Kroxa enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. So there's a little sacrifice for you. Whenever Kroxa enters the battlefield or attacks, each opponent discards a card. Then each opponent who didn't discard a non-land card this way loses 3, and you can escape it by exiling 5 other cards from your graveyard. I don't know. I don't know if that sacrifice is necessarily worth it there. Kroxa is cool. I'm just not sure. Anything else? Anything else, boys? Anything else, boys? There's got to be some more. There's got to be some more stuff. We got some bangers out here quick for this thing. Priest of the Forgotten Gods. I didn't see if you talked about this one. He does have that one in here. Braska the Planeswalker. I'm guessing you mean Vraska. Which one? Is there a Vraska that makes people sack stuff? Phyrexian Altar's in here. Vraska Betrayal's Sting. You draw a card and lose 1 life. Target creature becomes a treasure token with tap. Sacrifice this creature to, or this artifact to add 1 color. If target player controls or has fewer than 9 counters, poison counters, they get poison counters equal to the difference. Yeah. I don't know. That one's not my favorite. You can always throw fling or fun for the fun of it. Fling is always fun, and it sacks stuff, and you can fling your big 7/5 Balrog. I think like the fling effect that's on the back of a land would be good, just to add to here. This one. I think Kazul's Fury would be pretty good in here. Card draw and make removal into treasures. Yeah, those are good. That last ability is just not necessarily my favorite. Soft served. Gotcha. Anything else we got here, boys? Oh, hold on. What about a Keldon Necropolis, dude? 4 and a black, tap it, sack a creature to deal 2 damage to our creature or player, or 4 and a red. That's a lot, but like, that's something in the back pocket. It's a little something in the back pocket there. What's this one turn into? That wouldn't be bad as a card draw piece. 1 in the black, legendary enchantment. 1 in the black, pay 2, draw a card at the beginning of your upkeep. If you have 5 or less life, you may flip it. That's probably not ever going to happen, so maybe not as good as I thought it was. It's a good little card draw piece. Then it can flip into something that lets you sack and start gaining life. So like maybe if your games are going long enough, but I really don't know. 6 mana, holy no way. Yeah, that's a lot. Visions of Ruin is cute though. I think he has Visions of Ruin if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Visions of Ruin. It is a good one. It is a good one, I cannot lie. Yes, sir, it is. Do we have any suggestion or any like considering? No? Okay. Let's do a little test here. Let's do a little test. Play test. I'm gonna go ahead and draw. We're gonna drop our little land here. Pass. Go ahead. Ooh, play our Arcane Signet. Watch out, everybody. Draw. Ooh, shit. 1, 2. What's this one do? Okay, I don't think there's gonna be enough creatures out for that one, so we're gonna go boom, 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 boom. We'll just pretend we have the mana when we're playtesting. We'll pretend I tapped that right. Mayhem Devil. Go ahead, pass around. Play a land. Play 1 and a black or and a red for Tremble. Each player sacrifices a land. We'll go ahead and sack our mountain, and then each other player sacrifices 1. So that's 4 things that got sacked. Mayhem Devil does 4 damage. Balrog cost 4 less, meaning he costs 3 to cast. We will just pretend I have the mana because we're playtesting. And we've got a Balrog, and then we bash for 7 with Balrog. We're looking good, dude. Boom. Play this. What are we going to do here? Well, I think we're going to play Tyrant's Choice. Okay? And we're going to be like, what does everybody do? If everybody goes with the life, we're cool. If everybody goes with the sack a creature, we're like, all right, keep that in mind. Our Balrog costs 3 less to play now. And we can be like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? This is cool. I like this. I like this. This is fun. For a Rakdos deck, I like this. Then we'll be like, you know what? I'm going to nasty end my Balrog, dude, to draw 2 cards. Boom, boom, draw 2. Boom, play this. Play 2 red. Boom, boom. We're going to go ahead and discard cards at random. We're going to discard 2 cards at random. Everyone sacks 2 lands. That's 6 less on Balrog, so we cost 3 mana. Boom, boom, boom. We'll pretend we got the right mana. Boom, Balrog again comes out. Boom, he hits again for 7. Boom, this thing does 6 more damage to any target. It's looking good, dude. I like this. Let me see what we got here. Kirkclan Shaman. Where the hell were we? There we go. One red, 1/1, sacrifice an artifact. Clan Shaman deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. I don't know if we have enough artifacts to sack to that, do we? Maybe we do. Vision should be in the deck. Yep, Blood Pet and Kirk Prospectors. Maybe. Skirk Prospector seems pretty good. Isn't that the... Oh, yeah, you have to sack a Goblin, though. That's unfortunate. Not amazing, but Balrog with Chainsaw, the equipment, is just very funny to me. I like Chainsaw, but I get what you're saying. I don't know if it's necessarily right for this deck, though. Cool, though. Does 3 damage to any target, gets counters when stuff dies, equipped it to something to give that thing +X/+O. It might be okay in this deck, seeing that Balrog has haste. Just a constant buff for Balrog, potentially. Godzilla-sized fireballs. Sweet catching a live show. Cool, man. I'm happy you're here. Abby Owen. Curse of Opulence for some targeting and mana. I was considering Curse of Opulence as well for this one. Just like it's gonna be good just to like... But people are probably just gonna sack the thing you put that on though, right? Oh no, it's a curse. Ooh. I don't know. I don't know if one piece of gold is enough, you know what I mean? To warrant running it. All right. I'm feeling pretty good with that one. Yorsum, are you feeling good with that one? Are you feeling like you got some good suggestions tonight? We will be doing the Wednesday follow-up video. Those are going to be a little shorter, by the way. They were kind of funking up the editing schedule a little bit. So those are going to be like more of like a 2, 3, 4 minute thing instead of like a 5 to 10 minute thing. But still, I will have more suggestions for you guys on Wednesday. But we're going to move on to the next deck. I'm going to go grab a water so I don't absolutely flounder right here. And I'll be back with a water, and we'll move on to deck number 2, which is... Let me make sure I'm getting to it here. Wheelmasters. Yep, Wheelmasters. Hearthhull, the World Seed deck. So get some of your suggestions ready to go. Get ripped and raring, and I'll be right back. Hello. Hello, hello. How are we doing? How are we? Are we lively? Are we feeling all right? I hope we are, dude. Let's chat, dude. Let's chat for a second between these things, dude. What do you guys want to talk about? I saw Marty McFly. That was a good movie. I liked it. Me and my bro went to go see it. Had a fun time. Ate some taco beforehand. Watched some Mart. Had some chicken parm after. What about it? It was fun. It was good. You guys see any more movies? Soft Sword Meme says, yeah, cardboard guy. What does Hearthhull do? You're right. Hearthhull the world seed. 1 black, red, green for a spacecraft. So you can tap creatures to put... What kind of counters are they? Charge counters. Oh, that's cool. And when it's at 2 or more charge counters, it can be tapped, and you can pay 1 to sack a land, draw 2 cards. You may play an additional land this turn. And then when it's at 8 or more charge counters, it's a 6/7 flying Vigilant Haste. Whenever you sacrifice a land, each opponent loses 2 life. So once it becomes an 8+, you can easily bring home the game with that sack a land, deal 2 or lose 2. Like, super quick. It's actually incredibly good. I built 3 decks in 2 days. That's my kind of proficiency. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Abundance. So for card draw, he's got 6 pieces. My phone isn't that big. My phone isn't that big. My phone isn't that big. Oh, you're good. Certain things have a perfect amount of syllables to be like, my brain's like, you gotta sing that. You've gotta sing that shit. I get what you're saying now. Phone's not that big. Couldn't read Hearthhull. That's why he has to read it. I'm caught up. I got hair all over this thing. Okay, let's move into the draw cards. The deck has 2 modes in the Mox field for a fog version and a non-fog version. There's an excerpt at the top for the deck. Yes, there is. Okay. Hearthhull Fog. Fog tribal plus pass threats around the table. Oh yeah, I didn't even read your thing. Thank you for reminding me. Jeez. Let me go through this first. Deck name, Hearthhull. Strategy theme, upgraded from Tangrath Fog into an actual good deck. Power level, optimized casual. Win condition, pass Alexios and Slicer around and gain value from lands and fogs to stay alive. Love it. Favorite interaction, looping fogs. Looping fogs. What do you want out of this review? To show off my deck, to get some card recommendations, and to get help cutting cards from the deck. Which type of member are you? A Patreon and a YouTube member, so huge shout out to Wheelmaster. And let's get into this little excerpt here. Fog Tribal plus pass threats around the table. Sack lands and dump them for value. The deck is a game of attrition. As long as you don't get multi-targeted, you can stall out the game long enough to win. For everyone... or everyone scoops after you fog 20 turns in a row. That's fair. This deck can win, but it's kind of a troll with permafog. To drop the fog/pass stuff, swap those with sideboard. Keep right. Okay, so you can swap out the fog stuff for the sideboard stuff. Okay, that's cool. So you got that's what you meant by the 2 version thing. Gotcha. Cool. So in terms of card draw, we've got Abundance, which turns every time you draw a card, you get to critique that and turn it into a land card or a non-land card. So you just reveal until you hit your choice and then draw that instead. Augur of Autumn lets you cast spells off the top, I believe. Hold on a second. Let me not jump the gun here. First, let me get a good. You don't want to see this. You guys don't want to. You really don't want to see this. Oh, it went away. Oh. I hate when a burp goes away. It is the worst. Nick, is it possible you can post on the Discord what decks you are going to review for the up and coming weeks? I can do that, actually. That's a good idea. I will actually do that tonight. So check the Discord out at some point after this stream. I'll post that. It's actually a really good idea. I just don't think of things sometimes. Augur of Armor. I will definitely do that, though. Augur of Autumn. 1 and 2 green, 2/3. You may look at the top card of your library. You may play lands from the top. As long as you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, you may cast creatures from the top. Super good. Umedian Waste Waker. Who the hell is this? He's got Encore? Hold on a second. I'm working on a video right now that I'm finishing up for Sunday, and I didn't know this guy existed. I swore I looked at all the Encore stuff. I didn't see him. That's really good. Okay, hold on. Anyway. 2 and 2 black, 4/4. Whenever this creature attacks, you and defending player each discard a card or sacrifice a permanent. You draw a card for each land card put into the graveyard this way. Really good. Encore for 6 and 2 black, so you'll get 2 token copies of this thing for your opponents when you encore it. Pretty good. They said, you know what? I don't think Unearth's good enough. I think we need to encore these motherfuckers. Going out to the movies? I wish. Became a dad in 2025. LOL. Nick, is it possible? Oh, I already read that. Sorry. Does the card work off energy? No, it works off charge counters. So it has station. So it's just a legendary artifact until you tap enough creatures to put 8 or more charge counters on it. So once it's at 2 or more charge counters, which you add to it by tapping a creature, that's literally it. You just have to tap a creature, it adds a charge counter. Not in like any, sorry, that's a little misleading. Not in any instance. You have to specifically tap that creature to station this creature and put a charge counter on it. But at 2+, it turns into an artifact that can sack a land, draw 2, and you can play an additional land. And then at 8+, it still has the 2+1, but it also becomes a 6/7 with flying, vigilance, haste. Whenever you sack a land, each opponent loses 2. It's a little weird, but I'm not a huge fan. That is really good, though. I can't lie that the Hearthhull is very strong. We've got Tanuk. Whenever a land you control enters, deal 1 damage to each opponent. If this is the second time this turn that has resolved, draw a card. That's actually really good in a landfall deck. Tufal's Judgment! I've gotten like 4 comments on the video posted from today, and it's really funny. They're like, this is kind of just like a list of cards you like. And then the other one's like, this is kind of just like a list of like stuff that can go into your decks. And I'm like, it's my video about the stuff I liked from the year. I like my decks. I like graveyard stuff. I'm sorry. I've only turned it into a creature when going for the win that turn. 100%. Because you don't want to make it easier to kill on top of being an artifact for no reason. And you can totally just play it off like you're playing the value game. You're just like, yeah, value here, value there, go ahead, value, go ahead, value, go ahead. Tap everything, make it a 6, and everyone's like, what's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? Just everyone takes 20. Yeah, sorry, everyone's dead. Tufal's Judgment. 2 and a black enchantment. Whenever 1 or more cards leaves your graveyard, you can choose one that hasn't been chosen, draw a card, create a treasure, make a 2/2. This is fantastic in Lands Matter decks because you're going to have a ton of lands coming in from your graveyard. So, love that. Valakut Exploration turns landfall into impulse draw, and then if you don't end up using that impulse draw, it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of cards underneath it. So if you can have 3 or 4 lands enter, you put 3 or 4 cards under this. Any of the cards you don't use go away and ping opponents. Super good. Like it. Extra. What does extra mean in the terms of this deck? Mr. Gabe Wallace. Omnath. 3, 2 red, 2 green, 5/5. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 5/5 red and green elemental creature token. Whenever Omnath, Locust, or Rage, or another elemental you control dies, Omnath deals 3 damage to any target. Yeah, I mean, it's a good landfall trigger. I'm just trying to understand the category. Not any category, but I liked them. There we go. Love that. I do the same thing. I'll just be like, pet stuff. Which these aren't pet stuff. They're really powerful in the deck. But I get what you're saying. They're like, it didn't really fit anywhere, but they're very good. Vexing Shusher. Our stuff's not getting countered. Not today. Not today. Okay. Playing extra lands. We've got Azusa Lost But Seeking. Lets us play 2 additional lands. Dryad of Elysian Grove lets us play one additional land and turns all of our lands into every basic land type. Exploration Broodship is another spacecraft that's 1 green, and if it's at 3 or more charge counters, you can play an additional land, and if it's at 8 or more charge counters, you can play an additional land. It's a 4/4, it has flying, and once during each of your turns, you may cast a permanent spell from your graveyard by sacrificing a land in addition to playing its other types, and paying its other costs. This might actually go into Taval. Oh, man, this is definitely going into Vol. This is really good in there. Like, hear me out. Like, Taval's going to be making 2/2 zombies every time stuff leaves the graveyard, so I'm going to have tons of, like, little token bodies to station this thing with. Oh, you station equal to the power when you station it? Oh, I can get this thing to 8 so quick. Taval's a 4/4. Taval plus 2 zombies is all I need to get this thing to 8. And then I've got another piece of recursion from graveyard on top of a like massive mana ramp engine. Oh, okay, that one's good. I'm picking one of those up. That's real good. Mina and Den, Wildborn, 2 red, green, 4/4. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. I was actually going to recommend this one. Where's this artwork from? I've never seen this artwork for this card. It's really cool. Green, red, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Target creature gains trample. Super good in here. Oracle Moldiah, one of my favorite cards ever printed. 3 and a green, 2/2, play an additional land, play with your top card revealed. You may play lands from the top of your library. So good for just getting through little land pockets. Incredible card. Actually really good. Gitrog Monster. It's going to be good in here too. 3 black, green, 6/6, Death Touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice the Gitrog Monster unless you sack a land. You may play an additional land, and whenever 1 or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, draw a card. Ooh, Gitrog needs to go into Taval as well. I think I have a Gitrog. I'm going to check, because that's really good in there, actually. Damn. That needs to go in here. As far as the fog effects... Oh, are you sneezing? What you sneezing for? Oh, because you're going to come meow at me? Just lay down. This cat. Every night she sneezes, gets off the bed. She meows at me for fucking 2 hours straight. Yep, hold on. She wants out. You want out? You want out? It's fine. Come on. Can't you see I don't need you? Can't you see I don't need you? Okay. As far as fogs are concerned, we've got Constant Mist being a 1 and a green, prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn, but you can also buy it back by sacking a land. So you sack a land, it goes back to your hand. Constant Mist is the best card in this deck, without question. Darkness, 1 black, prevent all combat damage. Fog, 1 green, prevent all combat damage. Put Constant Mist in right now. Wait, it is. LOL. That's incredible in here. Fog, 1 green, prevent all damage. Glacial Crevices, 2 and a red. Enchantment, pay 0, sacrifice a snow-covered mountain. No creature deals damage this turn. Oh, do you run all snow mountains? That's so cool. You run all snow lands. That's so cool. It has to be a mountain? That's still very cool. You get 1 mountain in this deck, and that's pretty much just an infinite fog effect. Isochron Scepter, yeah, put any of your fogs under that. Fog you, dude. Moment's Peace, 1 and a green, prevent all combat damage. Flashback for 2 and a green. Spore Frog, sack the little dude, prevent damage. I was going to ask if Sunstone is in here. Here it is. 3 colorless, sacrifice a snow-covered land to prevent all combat damage this turn. Disgusting. And Tangle, 1 and a green, instant, prevent all combat damage will be dealt this turn. Each attacking creature doesn't untap during its next untap step. It's such a gross card. Tangle's so gnarly, dude. My cat just glares at me all day, every day. Yeah, my black cat follows me around and meows. Meow, meow, meow. She's got one of those high-pitched annoying ones all day. And then the, like, tabby cat just kind of, like, doesn't like people getting close to her. She's like, I want food. Feed me. Don't get close to my bowl. Don't do anything with me. It's like, fine. Fine. So graveyard, this is going to be stuff that's going to let us either recurse creatures or recur lands from our graveyard. I'm guessing that's the 2 main forms we're focusing on here. Aftermath Analyst will fill your graveyard as well as return all lands from your graveyard into play if you sack it. Belagred Recovery is a land that can also have a sorcery on the back that lets you return something from your graveyard to hand. Conduit of Ruins lets you play lands from your graveyard, and you can also play a non-land permanent from your graveyard once a turn by tapping it. Crucible of Worlds lets you play lands from graveyard. Icetail Explorer is absolutely busted in this list. Well, actually busted anywhere. 2 and 2 green, 2/4. You may play an additional land each of your turns. You may play lands from your graveyard, and whenever a land enters, mill a card. I need this into Vol so bad, but it shot up to $22. But we'll get it. We'll get it one day. 3 and a black, enchantment, mortuary. Whenever any creature is put into your graveyard, put it on the top of your library. Sure. Yeah, why not? I'm trying to think. I'm just wondering if you could get screwed over by this in any way in here, but I don't really think so. Ancient Green Warden, 4 and 2 green, 5/7 reach. You may play an additional land. Or no, you may play lands from your graveyard. My bad. If a land entering causes something to trigger, it triggers again. Yeah, the landfall OG, dude. That thing is so good. Pull Through the Weft. I haven't seen this card. 3 and 2 green sorcery. Return up to 2 target non-land permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. Then return up to 2 target land cards from your graveyard into play tapped. 5 is a lot, but that's really good. Ruminap lets you play from grave. 6 mills you and lets you play non-land permanents from grave because they have retrace. Slimefoot and Squee is a Jund 3/3 that enters with a 1/1. You can pay 1, a black, a green, and a red, sacrifice a Saproling, return Slimefoot and Squee, and up to 1 target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Slimefoot and Squee is really good. I considered making this deck multiple times because I love recursion. Still might. It's pretty good. Mainly for important creatures like 6 and for stuff like recursion. That's fair. In terms of mortuary, are you saying? Or because either way, that's fair. No Glacial Chasm is a Foglands deck is insane. No Glacial Chasm in a Foglands deck is insane. Was there not a Glacial Chasm? Let's see, dude. Oh yeah, there might be one. I didn't get to lands yet. That's so cute. Cool art. Wow. That art is gorgeous. I don't see a Glacial Chasm. Glacial Chasm is a land. Cumulative upkeep, pay 2 life. When this land enters, sacrifice a land. Creatures you control can't attack. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt to you. That's a little risky. But I guess you could just put it into play whenever you want and then just not play the Glacial Chasm, the cost, cumulative upkeep, and then just play it again with your commander or with any of your stuff that lets you cast lands from graveyard. Yeah, actually, that's insane. That's real good. That's real good. I took it out since it was actually uninteractable. Yeah, I was going to say, once I realized the whole, yeah, it just loops in and out of grave on a land. Yeah, that's... I mean, it's just as uninteractable. I mean, I guess Constant Miss can get countered and stuff. That one's really hard to deal with. That's fair. The land's really, really difficult. Splendid Reclamation. Return all your lands from graveyard into play. Zeril Genesis Shepherd is a Jund, 2 and a Jund, 2/5. Flying, you can cast lands from your grave. Whenever you sacrifice another non-token permanent, put a 1/1 counter equal to Sazez's power on each of up to... Wait. Whoa. When you sacrifice another non-token permanent, so like a land in this case, a lot of the time, during your turn, put a number of 1/1 counters equal to Zeril's power on up to 1 other target creature. Yeah, that's good. There's a Crucible of Worlds with like a ton of frosting on top, dude. Titania, 3 and 2 green for a 5/3. When it enters the battlefield, return target land from your graveyard to the battlefield. And whenever a land you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, create a 5/3 green elemental. Titania is great. Tortured Existence, 1 black, enchantment, pay 1, choose and discard a creature card, return target creature card from your graveyard to the hand. Yeah, that's going to be good. Swap out all your early game stuff for late game stuff, or swap out all your late game stuff for early game stuff. Whatever you need in the moment, Tortured Existence has got you covered. It's going to be good. Scrolling down here, we've got... I'm going to skip back to lands for a second. We've got the creatures that we're going to pass around. So on top of all the fog effects, a big way we're going to be winning is passing these 3 effects around the table. First, we've got Alexios Deimos of Cosmos. 3 and a red for a 4/4 trample. Alexios attacks each combat if able, can't be sacrificed, and can't attack its owner. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player gains control of Alexios, untaps it, and puts a 1/1 counter on it. It gains haste. That's disgusting. Yeah, this thing's going to get ginormous. It has trample. It's never, ever going to stop getting bigger. It's going to keep going to the opponents, and it can't attack me. Sorry. That's pretty fucking good. We've also got Rite of the Raging Storm being a 3 and 2 red enchantment. Creatures named Lightning Rager cannot attack us, and at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player creates a 5/1 elemental named Lightning Rager. It has trample, haste, and at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice it. So you're just giving people 5/1s to swing at each other with. And then finally, for the pass around package, we've got Slicer Hired Muscle being 4 and a red for a 3/4. More than meets the eye, so you can play it converted on its other side, which we'll read in a minute, for 2 and a red. Double strike, haste. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have that player gain control of Slicer until end of turn. If you do, untap Slicer, goad it. It can't be sacrificed. If you don't, convert it. So you can either convert it or just pass them around. And the converted is a 3/2 living metal first strike haste. Whenever Slicer deals combat damage to a player, convert it at the end of combat. So you can get in like sneaky little hits with Slicer, but you're mainly passing it around on its front side. In terms of ramp, we've got Cultivate, Harrow, Horizon Explorer, Ignoble Hierarch, Larval Scoutlander, Lotus Cobra, Nisa, Roiling Regrowth, and Springbloom Druid. I see some +1 counter shenanigans. How about Power Conduit? It's slow, but has some slight synergies. Power Conduit. What do we have here? 2 for an artifact, tap it, remove a counter from a permanent you control to choose one, put a charge counter on target artifact, which could be good for your station thing, or put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Maybe. It is a little slow, I get what you're saying, but it definitely feels like it's hitting a lot of the same marks we'd want. Earthbender Ascension would be a nice card that ramps plus making creatures scary. Earthbender Ascension. I don't know if I've seen this one yet. 2 and a green for an enchantment. When this enchantment enters, Earthbend 2. Then search your library for a basic land card and put it into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. That's really good. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters the battlefield, put a quest counter on this enchantment. When you do, if it has 4 or more quest counters on it, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control against trample until end of turn. Earthbender's Ascension is great. Wow. Yeah, that's a great card. I could see that being very good. For removal, we got Beast Within, Fell to Profane, Heritage Reclamation, Hull Breach, Crows and Grip, I think, Massacre Girl, and Tear Asunder. We've also got some sacrifice effects here. So Baloth Prime, 3 and a green for a 10/10, enters with 6 stun counters. Whenever you sack a land, make a 4/4. So in this deck, busted. Also untap this creature, busted. Pay 4, sack a land, gain 2, sure. Evendo Brush Razor is 2 and a red for a 2/2. Whenever you sacrifice a non-token permanent, exile the top card of your library. During your turn, as long as you've sacrificed a non-token permanent this turn, you may play cards exiled with this creature. Tap it, sacrifice a land, add 2. Yeah, it's pretty great. Mayhem Devil, turn sacrificing into 1 damage. Nahiri's Lithoforming, X and 2 red for a sorcery. Sacrifice X lands. For each land you sacrifice this way, draw a card. You may play X additional lands this turn. That's actually really cool. I like that a lot. I don't think I've ever seen that card. Orcish Lumberjack, sacrifice forest to make other mana. Scape Shift was going to be one of my suggestions, but you already got it. Pay 2 and 2 greens, sorcery, sacrifice any number of lands. Search your library for that many land cards and put them into play tapped. Disgusting in this deck. Probably one of the best cards in this entire list. One of the best cards ever, to be fair. Scouring Swarm, 1 a black and a green for a 1/1 flying. Whenever you sacrifice a land, create a tapped token that's a copy of this creature. If 7 or more land cards are in your graveyard, otherwise, create a tapped 1/1 black insect creature token with flying. I read that weird, but you get it. Squandered Resources, green and a black for an enchantment. Sacrifice a land, add to your mana pool 1 mana of any type the sacrificed land could produce. Play this ability as a mana source. That's really good in here. And then Zurin Orb lets us sack lands to gain 2 life. And then finally, we've got the sideboard list. Wait, how'd you get sideboard as a part of the 100? That's weird. Okay. Amzu Swarm's Hunger, 3 black green, 3/3 flying menace. Other insects you control have menace. Whenever 1 or more cards leaves your graveyard, you may create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token. Then put a number of 1/1 counters on it equal to the greatest mana value among those cards. Do this only once each turn. Are these the cards that you swap out for the actual... Oh wait, never mind. I'm not sure. Blasphemous Act, good board wipe. Braids lets us sack stuff to cause everybody else to sack stuff. Collective Resistance, good removal. Forest. Haywire Might, good removal. Long Fang. 1/1 counters for stuff going to graveyard. That's actually really good. Or land going to your graveyard. That one's actually good. So these go out for the fog effects. I gotcha. Longfang's actually sick. Mazarek Crawl Death Priest. Yeah, getting 1/1 counters on each creature you control when stuff's sacrificed. Sure. I'm sure the Balrog wishes it had green in it because a ton of this stuff would be perfect for that list. Siege Ship Impact is good removal that lets you get a lander token as well. Tectonic Reformation gives all the lands in your hand cycling for 1 red, which is such a good card. I've always wanted to run this. I feel like I've tried it in multiple decks and I didn't like it. But every time I read it, I'm like, that's really good. And then finally, Zangief, the Red Cyclone, being 2 and a Jund for a 7/4. Must be blocked if able. As long as it's your turn, Zangief has Indestructible. And whenever he deals combat damage to a creature, if that creature was dealt excess combat damage, that creature's controller sacrifices a non-creature, non-land permanent. Which, yeah, sure. Zangief's a boss. Druid's Deliverance. Yes, for the fog effects and such. Sorry if it was said. I was getting my food. I don't think it's been said yet. Druid's Deliverance. Let's see. 1 and a green, instant, prevent all combat damage that will be dealt to you this turn. Populate. That's not bad, because you do have some token stuff in here, right? Oh, yeah, I mean, not the right thing, though. I mean, yeah, you could populate the Titania token, which would be good. I just don't... Oh, do you have any more, though? That might be it. You could populate the 5/5 from him, which would be pretty good. You could populate the 2/2 from him. Possibly. I don't think that's terrible, actually. Druid's Deliverance, not bad. Gabe Wallace, I would recommend Karn the Betrayal over Ride of the Raging Storm because of the draw. The whole table will be happy to keep it on the board instead of getting rid of it. Karn the Betrayal. Ooh. 3 and a red, 5/1. Karn the Betrayal attacks each combat and blocks each combat if able. When you lose control of Karn the Betrayal, draw 2 cards. If damage would be dealt to Karn the Betrayal, prevent that damage, and an opponent of your choice gains control of it. That's kind of cool, actually. I like that. That's a good suggestion. Rampant Frogantua, my favorite green card. 2 and a green, 3/3 trample. Rampant Frogantua gets +10/+10 if for each player who has lost the game. Whenever Rampant Frogantua deals combat damage to a player, you may mill that many cards, put any number of lands from among them into the battlefield tapped. That actually is really good for 3. Ooh, that might go into Vol. That's real good. I like that. Probably not needed, but having Surveyor's Scope after we sack lands. Surveyor's Scope. 2, artifact. Tap it. Exile Surveyor's Scope. Search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of players who control at least 2 or more lands than you. Put those cards onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. That could be interesting for sure if you time it right. Was Head Shredder in the deck? Head Shredder was not in the deck, and that would be really good. 2 and 2 green, 5/5 vehicle that cruise for 1. When it attacks, you mill 2 cards. You may mill 2 cards. Whenever 1 or more lands are put into your graveyard from your library, you put them into the battlefield tapped. Super good. I like Right because it's enchantment and harder to remove, but it's good still. Yeah, Right is really good for the 5. I think both would be kind of good. Even just having a 4th way to have something to pass around the table, I actually think would be useful. What about Assault Suit? Well, you don't really have enough creatures to justify Assault Suit. You kind of already got the creatures doing what you want them to do. Okay, I do have some suggestions, though. So let me have a couple of them queued up here. I think Carter Doomscourge would be very good in this deck. Being 2, a black and a red, 4/3. When it enters the battlefield until your next turn, creatures your opponents control attack each combat if able, and attack a player other than you if able. And whenever an attacking creature dies, each opponent loses 1 and you gain 1. This is kind of playing into the whole you guys attack each other while I fog anything you throw at me thing your deck is doing, while also netting life loss in all that chaos. Plus, I think this interacts very well with your Tortured Existence, because you can start looping Carter Doomscourge, just letting it die and looping it in and out of the graveyard. Whenever it does die, you just, hey, what's up? Carter Doomscourge is back. Let's see. Mortuary can get Carter Doomscourge back, which is pretty good. Conduit of Worlds will let you play it again. So Carter just seems good, as it'll be like, hey, everyone don't attack me for an entire rotation, and we all know how good Disrupt Decorum can be, and that's just stapled onto a creature. So Carter's very good. I love Carter. Moving on, Disrupt Decorum, I think also would be very, very good in here. Goading everything you don't control definitely plays into what the deck's doing here. Escape Shift you already have. We already talked about Head Shredder. And yeah, my only suggestions are Carter, Disrupt, and Escape Shift. Before we get into the deck though, or before we finish the deck though, let me see if I can think of anything else now that we have finished going through the deck that would be good in a list like this. Let me look at my, I know it's gonna be weird, but my Taval list. I feel like we share similar values with those two decks, or with these two decks. That makes sense. I just love to see chaos because of the card draw. There's some stuff in considering that would be my sideboard. Oh, okay. So you do have a little considering. Did the Balrog have any considering? No. Okay. Oh my god, 53. Okay, I'm not gonna go through all these, but I will reference the considering whenever we suggest cards. That's a whole nother deck right there. Okay. Dread Return. Yeah, it wouldn't be that great. So creatures going in and out of graveyard, or lands going in and out of graveyard. You're doing the land thing. You're sacking lands. Players lose life for you sacking lands. Okay, what could we run in here that would be good with that? Head Shredder is a great call out. That's gonna be great in here. Geode Rager? Geode Rager. It was a lot more of a combat type deck before I went into the landfall stuff. That's fair. Soft serve memes. How do I get a deck review? If you are a Patreon or YouTube member, you'll gain access to the deck submission form. It's like a Google form that looks like this. And yeah, starts as low as $1. $1 members can gain access to it as well. Feel free to be a patron for a month or a YouTube member for a month and then drop it after that. I will still review the decks you submit. So that is how it is done. Ooh, Traverse the Uvenwald wouldn't be bad in this deck, actually. In my humble opinion. Oh, I forgot to put Argenta Masticore into Vol. I'm excited to try that out. That card seems like an absolute banger. What does this one do? Oh, you don't have... Wait. You don't have Life from the Loam in here? What the hell? What the hell? That's weird. 1 and a green sorcery, return up to 3 lands from your graveyard to your hand. Dredge 3. This seems amazing in your deck. I need to make a Taval list. I started one, but I never finished it. It is easily the funnest deck I've ever built. I love Taval. Life from the Loam seems fantastic and perfect in this deck. I don't know why that's not in here. And then Traverse the Uvenwald seems pretty good as well. The hand kind of clogs. Jeez, my short-term memory. With Life in the Loam, it kind of clogs, or in the Taval list, you're building it kind of clogs. I'm guessing with the Life from the Loam. I still think it's good though, because even if it clogs, you can just go ahead and discard any of the extra lands you have in hand back to grave and just keep letting them cycle in and out and trigger your stuff like Taval's Judgment. So I still think it's pretty good. Traverse the Uvenwald seems great in this deck. 1 green sorcery, search your library for a basic land, put it into your hand, so you can just grab one of those basic snow mountains, which seems pretty good. And if there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard, which in this deck I feel like that's not hard to do, you get to search your library for a creature or land and put it into your hand. So any of those big staple creatures seems really good. Soft Serve Memes became a member of the Lotus Seed. Big thanks, my guy. I appreciate that. You have now gained access to the all too private and elusive, exclusive, intrusive, black and bluesive club where you can submit your decks, baby. Lands to hand instead of looping on and off board. That's fair. Gabe, true. Yeah, I could see either way. You know what I mean? I could see the point of not wanting to run it to clunk stuff up, or it going against another specific type of recursion you're going for, but I still think it interacts pretty good. Xantia Sleeper Agent. 1 a black and a red 5/5. Xantcha Sleeper Agent enters the battlefield under the control of an opponent. It attacks each combat if able and can't attack its owner or planeswalkers its owner controls. Pay 3. Xantcha's controller loses 2, and you draw 2. Any player may activate this ability. Xantcha would definitely be good in this deck, dude. I think Xantcha's really good. Geode Rager. Oh yeah, landfall turns into goad for everything. So everything's perma locked down essentially in this deck. Geode Rager literally permanently locks down your opponent's boards. That's gross. That's actually incredibly good in this list. Yuck. Yuck. It's actually that's gross. Yeah, Geode Rager might be an ad in this one, honestly. Yeah, I'd be hoeing. I agree with you. I think Geode Rager's a banger. It seems like a perfect ad. Swamp. Do you have a lot of swamps? I don't know. I don't know if that's worth it. I doubt it is. Do you run Takenuma in here? I really like Takenuma a lot in my decks. Takanuma's pretty good. It's mono black, but like, I always forget how to spell it. There we go. Legendary land, taps for a black, pay 3 and a black, discard Takenuma from your hand, mill 3 cards, return a creature or planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand. It costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. So I guess it wouldn't cost less with your commander in a lot of cases, but I don't know. As a land, I like it to get some mill. It's been pretty good to me. Fog Patch, LOL. Do we not have Fog Patch? Maybe that one's not good enough compared to these other fogs. You have to have basic fog just because you ain't doing a fog deck right. Oh yeah, you were the one that brought up Fog Patch last time. That's funny. 1 in a green instant. Play Fog Patch only during the declare blocker step. Attacking creatures become blocked. Yeah. Someone pointed out a cool interaction with this. I can't remember what they said, but there is some cool reason that things being considered block could be useful in a situation. Oh, I think it's like trample or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. I got decks that need yours and everyone's help. We'll submit them. Submit them. I will be posting after tonight's live, which is about to end here shortly, actually. We got through tonight pretty quick. I'm gonna post a schedule for the upcoming Fridays and like which decks we're gonna be reviewing, so you guys can have like a rough idea of what we're working with. I am gonna post any decks that I'm not sure if we have reviewed or not on the Discord and link your name. Hopefully you're in the Discord so you can be tagged to see if we've gone through them or not, and then I will release the schedule for all that. So hopefully we can all be on the same page. Also, if you haven't checked out the video I uploaded today about my sum up of 2025, my favorite cards, obscure, powerful cards, give it a watch. Give it a watch. Shifting Woodland's so good. That's another card I really need. Save image. Thank you. Okay. Before we hop off, does anybody else have any more suggestions? Any more chat suggestions here? I hope this was at all useful, Gabe Wallace, as always. Got a couple good suggestions, I hope, in there. Chat, as always, came in clutch with some good ones. And big thanks to Soft Served Memes and I Be Hoeing. Huge thanks to you guys. Always makes my night when we got some support, and also when we got new decks to review on Friday nights. Because let's be honest, it's nice to reveal Wheelmaster, it's nice to reveal Yorsum, it's nice to review LJL, but sometimes we need a little new names from all these deck savants we've got here. All right. I think I'm calling it. I think I'm fucking calling it. 2 good decks efficiently looked through, I'd say. Some good suggestions. Look out, Wheelmaster and Yorsum, for Wednesday. We will have a video follow-up where I will hopefully have some more in-depth suggestions for these lists. Kingpin, or wait, hold on. Who said that? Red Cabbage says undergrowth. 1 green. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may pay 2 in a red. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. If the spell's additional cost was paid, this effect doesn't affect combat damage that will be dealt by red creatures. Sure. I mean, honestly, you can get your commander through just for funsies. Good job, boys, and good night. You're a champion and a scholar, King of Dreams. Just for you, I'll install Discord. Oh, thank you, Soft Serve Memes. I appreciate you. It is really useful. Doesn't have to be a cringy place, you know what I mean? It's useful to get some scheduling down, and we actually just have a ton of people in there talking about decks and suggesting cards all the time. And we've also got a brand new Scryfall search optimization tool that we're beta testing in there. So if you want to go to the Lotus Refinery tag once you join the Discord, you can give that a whirl and see what you guys think. Send back error reports on anything that doesn't work, because that just helps the system be better and better. So yeah, with that, I think we're good. To call it a night. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys haven't checked out the upload that I uploaded today, go to the channel, head over there and give it a watch. And screw it, man. Make a big playlist of a bunch of my videos and let them loop while you're asleep. That'd be great. As Gabe Wallace said, thumbs up on you. I will talk to you guys Sunday, because we'll have another upload Sunday that I think you guys are really going to like. It is a long video, but I think you guys are going to dig it. And yeah, see you guys then. Peace. Have a good night.